Yes, is it too late for Multan Sultans to make a late PSL comeback? Yes, it's a one and only Mohammad Rizwan to blame. The captaincy, the slow batting, trying to recover at the end but not really failing. And at the end of the day, coming to a below par score. That has been the story of Multan Sultan's entire PSL. Welcome back to Backward Point. My name is Nader Sayed. With me, as always, my brother and co-host, and we will be discussing in length, in depth, the man, the myth, the legend, Mohammad Rizwan, and his iconic innings.
Was this match played in Lahore or London? Because this was a green top pitch.
Yeah.
Now, if you've
Things were happening.
If you've clicked on this podcast, looking at the thumbnail, maybe the title, and you're like, oh my God, these guys are going to roast Rizwan again. Like, what is up with them roasting Babar and Rizwan?
I started the podcast with that.
Why have the paycheck stopped from Corps? No, this is not that podcast. Not this one, at least, because we've seen the match. If we saw the scorecard, if we saw the phases of the match and Rizwan's innings and how it built up and he played a catch-up knock, we would have said, oh, Rizwan played too slow. But because we watched the match with our own 4 eyes, 8 eyes,
wow,
if you know what I mean.
We can tell. The dad doctor jokes are not ending.
We can tell this was a tough pitch, difficult pitch, which over time got easier to bat on.
Was it a 22 off 19 pitch? Or 19 off 22, I should say.
What's the context?
Context is that Rizwan was 19 off 22?
Well, it was...
the power play.
Well, it was difficult to bat at the beginning. The ball was swinging and seaming. Like I mentioned, was this Lahore or was this London?
I mean, is it seaming and swinging? And then Rizwan, who's been opening for Pakistan in T20s for the past 6 years, completely clueless? I think I'm going to play bad cop here, and I think you're going to play good cop. I didn't know that was a stance you're going to take. I thought you and I would be aligned, but clearly the checks are coming in.
Discussions with Corps have resumed.
The one checks that are coming in, Bashar, are from Yashi Sports.
You did nets today, correct?
I did do nets, yes.
How were the Yashi Sports sponsored shoes?
I'm telling you, back was sore, right arm shoulder sore, finger sore for some reason. Spinning the ball, I didn't think that my thumb would be sore, but I feel a little bit of a swelling situation going on. But one thing that was not sore, Bashar, were my feet. Because of the expert advice from Yashi Sports, I bought. You tell me the model that I bought because you bought it for me.
A6 Gel Peak.
A6,
it's not sponsored by A6. It is sponsored by Yashi Sports.
Sponsored by A6, but sponsored by Yashi Sports because they were the ones who told me that you should probably get these ones, size 11. And man, I broke them in finally. I think today was the third time I wore them in the nets. They were broken in. Lovely, great step. I could twist on my heel, on my forefeet or whatever they're called, the toes of my feet, and like I was getting a lot of revs in. Just felt very nice. I was using the shoes I got from Pakistan, these CAs, whatever, from Pakistan like 3 years ago. They were a size too big because nobody makes half sizes. So I'm 10 and a half, but I had to get an 11, which was just too big. My foot was slide inside the shoe. This was just like perfect snug. And honestly, I was thanking Yashi and I was thanking all the guys there for helping me out because I had a great nets today. 3 outs. I got 3 outs today. And the ball was coming out well. So I'm glad. I'm happy.
No, I'm glad that you got the expert advice. I'm glad that you were about to buy the New Balance shoes, but Yashi Sports told you to go for the A6 Gel Peak shoes. And I'm also glad that you were able to use the exclusive code BP10 to get 10% off those shoes from Yashi Sports, which is Canada's home of cricket.
Mishar, you know me, I love a deal. And BP10 is a deal.
No, I love it. I love Yashi Sports. I love the Backward Point community who have been using the code BP10. And as the Canadian cricket season is coming close, I'm sure more of those codes will be used. And if you want free shipping on your orders at Yashi Sports, just the order cumulatively has to be over $350 and up.
100%. Let's talk about this first innings real quick. Because if you look at the scorecard, you're like, oh, wow, seems like a very generally well-rounded knock. But then if you look into the breakdown of the game and if you had followed the game flows a little bit differently.
Well, the first thing that caught my eye was literally the pitch. And
green top, man, like the color of your shirt.
You couldn't tell the difference between the grass and the pitch. That's how green it was. And I'm not sure what is happening with the pitch curation and what our boy Tony Hemming is doing in Lahore. Hopefully we'll get him on soon. But when I saw a few deliveries from Shaheen in his second over, the ball was seaming away off the pitch. There was lots of extra bounce. Lahore played Tom Curran at the top, who I'm glad has not gotten into any fights with any umpires before the match. If you know what happened at the Big Bash, you know what happened at the Big Bash. Tom Curran was getting the ball, the swing. It was getting the seam. And the few of the deliveries that were beating the bats, there was huge gaps between the bat and ball, showing the extra bounce and the extra movement that both Shaheen and Tom Curran were getting.
I totally agree. And I think it was a devious pitch to be batting on. And I still think, and this is probably where the contention between you and I start, is I think the partners that Mohammad Rizwan was batting with dealt with it better than Mohammad Rizwan did. This was not a pitch where it took you 18 deliveries to score your first boundary, especially in the power play. Well, no boundaries in the power play for Mohammad Rizwan. His first boundary came on the 9.1st delivery, 9.1, and that was a 4 off Mitchell, Daryl Mitchell. Before that, he was 17 off 11, Bashar. Can you explain to me in what world?
11 off 17?
What did I say?
17 off 11.
11 off 17, my bad.
He wishes he was 17 off 11.
Honestly, yes. In what world does that consist of what pitch was that? That it was the level of difficulty faced by Mohammad Rizwan was such that he had to be 17 off. So 11 off 17.
I think there's roles, and I think how Rizwan has defined his own role in Multan Sultans is to be an anchor, is to hold one end, and to have attacking guys play around him who score at a high rate. That's why they have guys like Yasir Khan and Usman Khan. Usman Khan, I think, strikes at like 158 in the PSL. Yasir Khan hits at 140 plus, and Rizwan himself is like around the 130 mark for strike rates. So that's just how I feel like he's defined his role, that he's going to take the game deep. And we've seen that Rizwan's strike rate, if you compare his strike rates by phases of the game, towards the last 5-10 overs is when Rizwan really ups his game. And again, it's a typical anchor catch-up knock that he played. And looking at the conditions, looking at the pitch, I think that ultimately Multan did get to a good total. The one thing that kind of does not sit right with me is the fact that Multan has a very explosive lower middle order.
They never got a chance.
They've got Iftikhar Ahmed, who is an incredible pace basher towards the last 5 overs. They've got Michael Bracewell, who is a lefty, plus he's a great pace basher. And they never got the opportunity to bat. At one point, I think Rizwan was like in his 30s, going at just over on a ball. And we were chatting about this in the Patreon chat that I think cricket teams should consider retiring batters out, especially if they're struggling in the middle. Now, we've seen this happen in a few leagues recently where batters trying to hit, they're struggling, they got retired out.
So who retires them out? Is it the management, the coach, the captain, or is it the player himself?
It has to be a combination of the people in the dugout. Like, I don't think the player can be honest himself to just walk out, because that also comes off as a player giving up. At the same time, if the player is being retired out, there needs to be clear communication between the captain, the coach, because players have very fragile egos.
Why not just hit out?
Well, sometimes you're trying to hit out and that doesn't even work out.
Mohammad Rizwan was 31 off 30 deliveries. He was almost running a ball for the first 30 deliveries he played in a knock where he played, let me just double check this, 48 deliveries.
Well, they were trying to aim for 160 before the match. Shaheen said this looks like a 160 pitch, and Rizwan got to 185 in the end. So
Multan Sultans were 104 off 14 overs. The last 6 overs is when they actually exploded. And they had this insane partnership at the end with Kaman Ghulam and Rizwan. And even in that situation, Kaman Ghulam, I believe, was the one who was the aggressor with 52 off 31.
Like I mentioned, I think it got easier to bat on that pitch as the game progressed, especially in the last half. We saw in both innings where even Lahore was, I believe, 80 in the first 10 overs, and then they scored like 100 in the last 10 overs. So the way this pitch was behaving, I thought Rizwan's innings was, I still can't justify it completely, like just going run a ball in the first 10 overs, consuming that many balls. But in the context of this pitch and looking at the recent par scores here, I thought Multan got to a decent total.
I think it's the weakness of Mohammad Rizwan's batting, where he does not really have an offside game, which doesn't allow him to score those frequent boundaries that you would get in the first 6 overs in the power play, even if the ball was swinging. That's my take. I think if Rizwan was a little bit more technically sound, he would have been able to maneuver the swing at least for a even an edge off third man over slips with four. Like what I'm trying to say is like even a batsman like Babar Azam, who's in a similar boat most of the time, trying to contain, trying to hold off one end, trying not to get easy wickets off. He's managing swing and seam better than Mohammad Rizwan only because he has an offside game where he can rely on. He can maybe get lucky a few times, maybe middle something, go for four, get that confidence back. The fact that Mohammad Rizwan scores his first boundary in the game in 9.1 overs, that's troublesome to me. He played the entire power play, and I wanted to double check what the score was at the end of their power play. They were 39 for 1. 39 for 1, which means and out of those 39 runs, how many were his? Like
5 off 11.
5 off 11.
Well, I think the issue with Rizwan
That's almost 2 overs.
It's been like this for the past few years, where Rizwan has a weak offside game and he relies quite heavily in the first 6 overs to score on the leg side. He even like takes deliveries on the 4th, 5th stump and he drags it towards the leg side. And I was noticing today when Tom Curran was bowling against Rizwan, the field set they had was a deep square leg and a deep fine leg. So basically preparing for that leg side heave that Rizwan has.
So if you know that the opponent is going to target your weekends, why not develop a counter shot? Just literally, why not like play the ball at the merit of the line? It's impossible for him, it feels like.
It's the same thing with Shaheen being predictable with his first over in swings. Shaheen says that he likes to back himself, that he likes to back his strength, even though the whole world knows he's going to ball that in-swing Yorker. He still backs himself. That's how he got Rohit Sharma out, right? In this match, Rizwan can be like, okay, I want to back my strength. Even though the fielder is there, I'm going to hit a 6 over that fielder and clear the boundary, which eventually, I think he hit a 6 against Haris Strofe like that towards the end.
We talk about intent, but we don't talk about risk as well. That comes with the intent. Intent should be, I want to score 10 runs at least off the over if I'm batting in the power play. Now, that includes a 360 angle. That does not only include that one shot that's high risk shot, which might get you out, might get you a 6. I think the recalibration of Mohammad Rizwan's batting needs to be done because the core Pakistan Dosti Yari 11 from 2000 or 2023, 24, in my opinion, has been found out.
How are you not holding the Multan Sultan's bowling lineup accountable for this?
I'll come to that. We're talking about the first innings right now.
Yeah, but I think 185 on this pitch was a good score if they had just bowled well.
Yeah, like Josh.
In the post-match, Rizwan said that, even if you score 250 on any pitch and if you bowl poorly, then that's not even a good score.
No, I agree. The only person that kind of saved face, I mean, we're jumping the gun here, but we can talk about
just one more thing that Multan brought back hope in their team by bringing back Shai Hope.
Man, Shai Hope cannot be caught stealing a run.
Is he a hopeless cause?
He is I don't know, man. I want to ask Mr. Tareen here. Mr. Tareen out there in the boundary line trying to save face, trying to be all happy and cheery, but he's breaking down inside, man. The man who's gone to 4 straight finals, I believe, in the PSL, might have a first round exit. That's a tough pill to swallow.
I mean, he wanted the PSL to do something very different every year, and this is the PSL 10.
He kept asking, how is this going to be bigger? How is this going to be bigger?
Multan not qualifying for playoff for the first time in 4 years is going to be something different that's going to happen in PSL X.
Yes, that's true. For the first time in 5 years, Multan probably not going to make the playoffs, probably not going to make the finals. I mean, honestly, I've seen every single Multan Sultan game. This is probably the most invested I've been in a PSL in my entire life, and they have looked underwhelming. I mean, my critique with the Multan Sultan's roster previously was that they just did not have any dynamic players that I could root behind. But right now, they're just like, seems like all the life has been sucked out of them. And Mohammad Rizwan being the captain and opening the inning is not really helping the cause.
I had Multan in my top 4 just because I still stand by the fact that they have a good team, they have a good squad. It's just some of their players aren't clicking. Like if Shai Hope scores runs, that's going to help Multan Sultans. If Akif Javed bowls well, that's going to help with Sultans. So you can't really control how players perform. What you can only control is picking the right guys and putting them in the right positions to succeed.
I agree with that. So I think this is probably a good segue into the second innings where Lahore Qalandars was batting and chasing this target of 186, I should say. And Multan was bowling. And I believe you're right. Multan lost the game between Josh Little and Akif Javed. That's probably where the game was lost, in my opinion. I mean, Josh Little, uh, anything, you're a fast bowler, you bowl with a new ball. You tell me, just dynamically, what was wrong with what Josh Little was trying to do in the power play? And then with Akif Javed, we've been on the record saying that he's a good bowler. He has the potential of being great, but he needs a lot of work because he's really wayward. He cannot land the same delivery in the general area 6 times in a row. And that was the case here. Like he was not able to sustain his line length at all and got whacked across the park. So as a new bowler, please explain to me what Josh Little was doing wrong here and what could he have done better?
I think on this pitch, I would have just bowled in the right areas. I would have bowled good deliveries. I would have bowled wicket to wicket, maybe like on the good length or just short of good length, and let the pitch do its thing. That's what I would have done. And Multan made 3 changes, and all 3 changes, I think, were to their bowling department. They brought in Hasnain, they brought in Akif Javed, and they brought in, I believe, okay, Josh Little was playing. So they brought in Shea Hope. So they made 2 changes to their fast bowling department. And I actually thought their opening spell wasn't that bad. I thought Fakhr actually batted really well. Like he was playing some really unorthodox shots. He backed away, hit a 6 towards the offside, and looked to really take the game on because scoring runs in the power play is very important, especially when you're chasing. And Lahore also made 1 change where they brought back Mohammad Naeem and they put back Asif Ali back in the lower middle order where he actually belongs.
Yeah. I mean,
and Naeem hasn't scored for them at all this entire PSL.
But I don't think they're going to change that. I think it's too late. He's played 6 straight games. I don't think he's going to be benched after this. I think they're going to go with him throughout this PSL. Do they have an opener in the bench that
they picked Kusal Pereira, but I think he pulled out of the PSL. I think he's picked up an injury. So I'm just trying to look at their squad to see if they have.
Excuse me. The only other thing they could do
But they have Mohammad Ikhlaq. Mohammad Ikhlaq is a wicketkeeper batter, and he can actually bat as an opener.
I think the only thing that they could do if they actually wanted to rectify the situation is set Naeem out and promote Asad Shafiq to number 2.
Asad Shafiq?
Abdullah Shafiq.
That's a very Waqar Yunus mistake.
My bad, man. It's quite late into the night and we're doing this. But I apologize. Abdullah Shafiq into the opening slot and have probably a middle order come in at the 3 or 4 spot. That's probably what they could do. But I still think if you're sticking with Naeem so long, just keep through it. Like you're still winning games. You're still second on the table. There's no harm done. No love lost. Keep it up.
Yeah, but
there is going to be an innings in the next 3 to 4 games where he's going to score a magnificent 50.
Dude, he hasn't looked in the game at all.
Did you see
and
that?
I think his batting is too risky. Him getting out at the beginning it just puts too much pressure.
Did you see the square?
I think you can actually set Naeem and promote Abdullah Shafiq as an opener. That's one thing.
I just said that.
Oh, so did you?
And this guy is trying to.
And then wait.
What is happening?
Secondly, you can also bring in Mohammad Ikhlaq for Naeem, which is try a different opener. Or you can even promote Sam Billings at number 2 because he can also open.
Whatever you want to do, they're not going to do anything.
I think they will.
They won't.
Because if I am Samin Rana right now and I'm looking at Mohammad Naeem, this is getting very frustrating.
Okay. What I would do is I would bring in Sendwave right now. Did you like that?
Let's do it.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
That segue? That's a very Bashar segue.
I did.
We're bringing Sendwave into the mix. That's the only thing we could do right now at this point. If you're sending money for the first time, Sendwave is offering an amazing exchange rate of 288 PKR per USD for transfers over $100 from the US to Pakistan as of today. I know many of you are already using a specific app and switching can feel like a hassle, especially for something as important as money transfers. But with rates like these, Sendwave is definitely worth a look. And we've talked about this many times. We've switched our entire money sending apparatus over to Sendwave. They've been kind enough to even give us the code ScorePK, which I'll talk about in a second. But it's so hassle-free. There's a little bit of verification needed. And the competitive rates really get me in because I've been using other money sending apps, as you know, to send money to our graphic designers and our editing team in Pakistan. And this has just been the best rates, honestly, for everybody involved. So get a $10 bonus on your first transfer when you use your code ScorePK. ScorePK. Remember that. Even if you don't need to send any money right now, you can test it out with just $1. The exchange rate will vary for smaller amounts, but you'll still get the $10 free credit and you can surprise someone with a little gift while helping us out by using the promo code. Give it a try and let us know what you think. Thank you very much, Sendwave, for sponsoring this podcast.
I am sending money to Pakistan twice in the next 5 days.
Why is that? Are you getting married?
Why do you think? How is my marriage
You're so defensive.
have anything to do with me
Man,
setting
single
men to
people are
Pakistan?
so defensive about getting married. Once you get married, you'll be like, what?
You are so obsessed with marriage that you keep bringing it up.
I only have the one marriage, and I just want to keep that. And I think it was the best decision of my life. And I want you, as your older brother, I want the best for you. So I just thought that's where you're going.
Well, that's why Sendwave is one of the best in the market.
Sendwave, swipe right for Sendwave. So yeah, let's talk about the Ubaid Shah of it all, because I really want to hone in on this little gem. He was supplementary emerging, I believe, in Islamabad United last year. This year, he is the first change for Sultans, and honestly, he's been doing great. 2 for 34 today, and I want to see what's the total wickets he's had in the PSL this year. Let me just double check that. For Islamabad United, for Multan Sultans, he's doing pretty good. Where is it? Sure, you should have this on the top of your head, man. What's going on?
I know other trivia. I don't know player stats off the top of my head. I can just check Cricinfo. I don't need to remember this data for now.
People are freaked out by your data analysis from the last trivia.
Are they?
People are like, this guy has no life. All he's doing.
You got to bring in more challenging questions.
9 wickets in this PSL unit.
What's his economy?
Pretty good.
You got to give me more context. Just wickets is not enough.
It's under 9. It's under 9. I know that. I'm just adding it up here. It's under 9, but he's looked good. He's been an impact bowler for Sultans so far, even though, not for Sultans.
Sultans. He's playing for Sultans.
I'm losing my mind here, bro.
This guy is losing it.
The stats is overwhelming. Like, I feel bad for him.
9.33 economy this PSL.
Yeah. I feel bad for him.
Why?
Because he's in a shit team.
Well, at least he's standing out.
He's standing out, but like, better than I do. Like, the team winning matters a lot. The reason that Usman Khan, was he player of the tournament in like one of the PSLs previously? Like, it was because he was in a winning team and he had 2 or 3 centuries as well.
I think Ubaid is still getting noticed. If he was in Islamabad, he would have been on the bench.
He would have been on
He
the
only
bench.
played 2 matches last season. And here he's like the first change bowler.
The criticism for Islamabad United not playing their emerging players as often as possible is quite loud.
Well, they are playing them. They aren't giving them full
chances.
opportunities.
But that criticism is loud. And maybe this could have been this probably is a better thing for Ubaid, that he's in a play. Even if it's a team that is depleted and not finding a way to win, you're right. He is standing out and he's making an impact for himself and a name for himself.
I think there needs to be an overhaul on how the emerging player is categorized, how they're labeled, and then just the rule on how the teams play them.
Can you be an emerging player 2 years in a row? Is that what you're saying?
You can. Ubaid is. But the difference is that if Ubaid had, let's say, gotten a surprise call for Pakistan, even though he didn't play for Pakistan, he would not have been emerging pick. What happened last year with a few players was that the Pakistan team sent a 15-man squad to the Asian Games, and all those Asian Games were international status matches. So guys like Arfat bin Haas, Haider Ali, Qasim Akram, they got their Pakistan debuts, international debuts at the Asian Games. So Qasim Akram, Arfat bin Haas, those guys no longer remained in the emerging category. And so Qasim Akram this year didn't get picked. Arfat bin Haas this year is on the bench. Qasim Akram played for Pakistan like 2 matches, and suddenly he's now in the silver category from emerging. He's on the bench. So there's a fundamental flaw with how emerging players are labeled and how they're categorized.
I think the emerging categories, they're trying to make it similar to the rookie category when in all the other Western sports, where the rookie, you can only be a rookie your first year, right? You can only be an emerging player your first year. I think that's the thought process behind it. I do agree with you that is a bit flawed, and there should be some working around it on what constitutes an emerging player and what doesn't, and how long that status should last. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. That's definitely a conversation to be had. At the same time, I do think a lot of these problems will be solved once we introduce more teams. If there was, let's even say right now, another team playing in this PSL, that's another 15 players that were probably sitting on the bench or probably not picked into the system of the PSL.
I'll tell you what the other issue is with adding 2 more teams. So 2 more teams means you need to have at least 4 more platinum level local players. Right now, Fahim Ashraf is a platinum player. Right now, Abbas Afridi is a platinum level player. Tell me 4 more local guys in Pakistan who are platinum level picks at the PSL level.
It's a very good question.
Exactly.
There's
The fact that you need to think about this.
I think there are some players that have been undersold that can probably find themselves in the platinum category.
Like Hassan Ali.
Like Hassan Ali. I would even say to a certain extent, I know he's having a really bad season right now, but Azam Khan had a great season last year, and there was talks of him probably being promoted. What is he in Diamond right now, I believe?
No,
or Gold?
Well, yeah, Diamond.
Diamond,
He's in
right.
Diamond.
So why couldn't he be in the platinum category if he's, the wicketkeeper of the year and like in a winning team and has contributions, like stuff like that, What I'm trying to say is that if you actually want to, you could make your local players get paid more and get higher categories if you wanted.
And the other issue is with adding 2 more teams, that means that there's more.
Saim and Haris, they're both.
Saim is platinum. Haris is diamond plus ambassador. So he's getting paid platinum.
But he could have just been in platinum. And you could have somebody else.
What if Zalmi doesn't what if Zalmi chooses not to retain?
Yeah.
What if Zalmi retains them both?
Yes. But I'm just saying if there's a 7th or 8th team in the mix, then why, and they're offering that kind of money, why would they?
Is it up to Haris and Saim to stay in teams or leave?
There's definitely a conversation to be had. Like, you don't want a James Harden situation where he doesn't want to stay with the Rockets, so he gets fat. You know the story?
I've seen the story.
Yeah, so like you don't want that kind of a situation. And this tournament's way too small for rivalries like that to brew up. So once more teams come in, you'll see a lot of more diamond picks go into platinum, which I think is fair. Why not pay your local players more? And you just get more talent in. You get the likes of Qasim Akram and others that we've been talking about who are sitting on the bench actually get some airtime. And they're not everybody who's on the bench will be on the bench then.
The game-changing partnership of this match to me was the Sikandar Raza and Daryl Mitchell partnership.
I'm telling you, Sikandar Raza.
You've been on the Sikandar Raza fan club,
and the man's been performing. Like, tell me one game where he hasn't stepped up for Qalandars in the past 5 games. He's one of the main reasons that Qalandars are getting over the line. And again, I still think, okay, maybe Sam Billings over Sikandar Raza, but at this point, the form that this man is in, send him at 4. Do it. Let him cook.
I felt like Lahore Qalandars is trying to squeeze out every single penny they've paid to Daryl Mitchell because they got him to ball. Did he ball 3 overs today?
He balled all 4 of his overs.
And he rarely ever balls for New Zealand. Like, he's a 7th, 8th bowling option for them.
He got whacked, bro. He got 47 on his 4. He did take that 1 wicket of Usman Khan.
I think he got whacked towards the end. Like, his first 2 or 3 overs were pretty decent. And I think this was good captaincy by Shaheen because when he noticed there is some movement on this pitch that was offering some help to the medium pacers, he brought in Daryl Mitchell immediately.
Yes, because Asif Afridi and Sikandar Raza together went for 42 and therefore collectively. And so, yeah, with Shaheen Afridi only going for 25 and Tom Curran only going for 24, that was actually quite sensible captaincy there by Shaheen to bringing in a medium pacer and to get some overs out. Kind of backfired. Haris Stroh still going for plenty, man. This guy's been, he's 46 in this game. I believe it was 60 odd in some other game previously in this PSL. He's not really finding his rhythm as well as I would like. This was a green top wicket. He was first change. Expected more of him.
Yeah, he got taken to the cleaners by Yasir Khan. Yasir Khan, who has been quite impressive in the last match and also this match as well. So I think he's showing lots of potential as an opener.
Yeah, kudos to him. Question to you. Is this Multan Sultan's end of the road?
Man, looks like it. The recent form isn't good. The captain, even though he is leading the highest run scores chart, he's not really leading in terms of impact.
Is he really the highest run scorer right now?
Yes, he is wearing the Hanif Muhammad cap for the leading run scorer. But Rizwan has the lowest strike rate amongst the top 5 batters.
Yes, he's averaging 75, 302 runs. Or number 2 is Sahib Zada for 236.
Look, you've got to give context to stats in T20s. You can't just be like, Rizwan is the greatest batter in the PSL because he has the most runs. Well, give me more context to see what's his strike rate like. What's the amount of boundaries he's hit? What is his dot ball percentage? Those stats give you more context to his impact because impact is how you measure performances in T20s.
You're actually right. He has the lowest strike rate in the top 10.
No, top 6.
Yeah. No, he has the lowest strike rate in the top 10. Oh, no. Yeah,
Hussain Tarat has the lowest.
Is he in the top 10 most runs? No, he's
Yeah.
not.
I think he is.
No, he's not. Sikandar Raza, Abdullah Shafiq is 143. Yeah, Abdullah Shafiq is 143. And then it's your boy Mohammad Rizwan with 150. So that's not good at all for somebody who's consistently in the runs. Because these runs are actually at the end of the day costing him. If he goes for 170 odd, scores a 10 ball 25, 10 ball 20, and then lets his middle order actually come in and play and gives Iftikhar and Bracewell that opportunity to go ballistic, maybe he does go hit 195, 200 on this pitch. I know it's a tough pitch batting in the start, but it did get easier. And there were batsmen in the dugout who never got a chance to go out and clean hit the ball.
And there was no intent in Rizwan's first 30 balls he played,
exactly.
right? And the fact that Iftikhar, Bracewell didn't even bat this entire PSL, like in this match actually, sorry, just shows that they haven't maximized their resources.
It's frustrating because we've seen these innings from Rizwan in international cricket before. You know, the semifinal against Australia comes to mind, which he clocks in as his best innings ever played ever. I mean, as fans and as people who watch this game as closely as we do, it's frustrating because we've been here before. We've been down that road. First round exit. Well, not first round exit, but semifinal exit in that tournament. That should have been a clean sweep for Pakistan, unbeaten. Should have been the case. Wasn't the case. And yeah, it's like when will we learn and when will Rizwan learn? That's just my question here.
Let's do some backward point trivia before.
You got questions for me today?
Yeah, do you have a question for me?
No, I don't have questions for you.
Okay, so I will bring up this question. Most 50s in the history of the PSL, top 5, go.
Most 50s? Babar Azam.
1.
Really?
Number 1, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obvious. Rizwan.
Number 2.
Kamran Akmal.
Number 4.
Okay, now it's getting tough. Give me a hint.
They're all Pakistani.
Of course, they're all Pakistani. But like, give me a.
Stop using your laptop.
I'm not. I'm doing something else. I promise. Said Kamran Akmal. Fakhar Zaman.
Fakhar Zaman, number 3. You're missing just 1.
Current player?
Surprisingly. Yes, Shoaib.
Surprisingly give it away.
Yep, top 5 50s, Babar Azam, Rizwan, Fakhar Zaman, Kamran Akmal, Shoaib Malik.
That's tough.
Babar also has the most ducks in this list.
I mean, he has the most balls faced, and he probably has the most innings as well in that list.
Babar's averaging 1 duck every 10 innings.
That's not bad. That probably actually clocks in for his current season as well. So tough. I actually wanted to ask you a question. I'm not able to find
trivia question.
It was a trivia question.
Go hit me.
Wait, I need to
find it.
Give me.
I'm excited now.
Give me 1 second. I'll find it for you. But I don't think it's the trivia question that you're looking for.
I sound like that one student in class who would encourage the teacher to ask a quiz.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, bro, just can you shut up? Why are you so excited by asking the teacher for a quiz?
Okay. I think I've pulled it up here. Yes, it is. Okay. You will not get this.
I will not get this. Wow.
If you get this, I will be very very surprised. I did mention Mohammad Asif last time, and right. I said it was going to be Mohammad Asif related wicket or Mohammad Asif related trivia. So let me just ask you right now: Mohammad Asif got banned for spot fixing, right?
He did. On record.
Who was his last wicket?
Who was his last wicket? Well, he was playing against England. They were playing at Lord's. Was it Kevin Peterson?
No.
Was it Paul Collingwood?
No.
Was it Alistair Cook?
No. You're close though.
I'm just gonna keep saying batter's name. Was it Andrew Strauss?
It was Andrew Strauss.
That's not really true. That's such a specific question. How am I supposed to know?
You were being Mr. Trivia last time. I was like,
I asked you
20,500 runs.
Wait, hold on. I've been asking you top 5 questions, top 10 questions.
Tell me who Muhammad Amir, before he bowled that no ball, who did he?
He bowled that no ball to Jonathan Trott.
That's pretty good. We were actually a lot of Muhammad Amir discourse in the Patreon chat today. I wasn't following the chat, but I saw a lot of Mohammad Amir, just every like few weeks, Pakistanis remember that Mohammad Amir was a great bowler and that he's won 2 ICC tournaments and what could have been. And I'm just like, man, when are we gonna get over that?
A lot of Muhammad Asif stories as well.
Yeah, also Asif
I think
stories.
everybody has at least one Asif story. Like my uncle's brother's cousin knows Asif in
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah. That's trivia for everybody. Amir took 6 in that match that he got banned.
He did.
He took 6.
He did.
Yeah, he took Cook, Peterson, Collingwood, Morgan, Pryor, and so on.
I think he took 5 in the game before as well.
What could have been, guys? What could have been? Anyways, Multan Sultans primarily out of the tournament. Bashar, let me get your predictions in for tomorrow's game, which is PZ versus QG.
Oh, this is good.
Mhm.
PZ versus QG. I'm going to go with PZ. Babar's coming back into form. He's playing in Lahore. I'm going to count down Saim to also score runs. He's law of averages. And I think Zulmi's bowling looks a lot better now with, what's that leg spinner coming into the play?
Richardson?
No.
Zulmi.
Zulmi.
Arif Yaqub?
Arif Yaqub. Yeah. Him coming in. Luke Wood bowling really well. Alzari Joseph being there. Saim could bowl. I think they've sort of accumulated a pretty decent squad who's coming into form at the right time.
IU still on the top, untouchable over there with 10 points. If Peshawar does win tomorrow, they probably find themselves in the 2 or 3 spot actually. So interesting there. Quetta need this game to win. They are 1 game behind everybody else right now, but if this wins, it just eases them into the top 4 and a place where they'd want to be. So interesting. Babar playing in Lahore, always a delight. And we'll be following up after that game tomorrow.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.